So, call to order, Ritesh.
चलिए सर स्टार्ट कर दूं यार फिर
हाँ.
चलिए ठीक है सर. Good afternoon everyone. I on behalf of I as a secretary of Tax Bar Association welcome you all to this Zoom meeting on virtual office establishment management and benefits. We have our speakers CA Dayaniwas Sharma, our Central Council member from Hyderabad, and CA Manu Agarwal, our Central Council member for Kanpur. We thank both our speakers for sparing their valuable time and enlightening us. And over to our President CA Ramdev Butra.
Thank you, Ritesh.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, all the learned persons who have joined now. At first, I welcome Shri Manu Agarwal ji, who has joined right from Kanpur. And I think he is the person who will guide us in virtual office establishment and its management, which work he is doing regularly since past several years at ICAI. And also, I am glad to see our own Dayaniwas Sharma. He is also very keen in this digitization process of the institute and other processes. It was really unique thought for us to deviate a bit from regular tax and audit topics because the present situation is such that before doing any tax or audit work, we should equip ourselves well with the technical things, which will not only help in smooth functioning of our work, but also will defend ourselves from any COVID situations. So I think today's topic is right. In the morning when I called Manu sir, I have requested him to explain us in practicality because majority of us are unaware of the technical operations. So I am glad to know that he has agreed that he will go point to point. With this brief on today's topic, I welcome you all and I go over to Ritesh Mittal and I request him to introduce both the speakers of today's session.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Today, I'll introduce our first speaker, CA Manu Agarwal, who is from Kanpur, a practicing chartered accountant with rich experience of 32 years in the field of auditing, taxation, management, consultancy, etc. He has a deep interest in adoption of new technologies. He is the founder partner of CA firm Manu Agarwal & Co., established in 1987. Elected member of the Central Council of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the term 2016-2019 and 2019-22. Chairman of the Digital Accounting and Assurance Board of ICAI for the council year 2019-20 and again for 2021. Member of the Indirect Tax Committee, Direct Tax Committee, Disciplinary Committee of ICAI and various other committees for the year 2021. Member of the Merchants Chamber of Uttar Pradesh and Vice Chairman of Fiscal Committee for the year 2021 of the Chamber. Chairman of the Information Technology Committee of the Members Chamber of Uttar Pradesh for the year 2021. He has led and contributed in the conceptualization of digital platform for ICAI members and students and for the digitalization of exam evaluation system of ICAI. Founder Chairman of Information Technology Committee of SAFA, South Asian Federation of Accountants. His other achievements, he is a national trainer of JCI India, soft skills training, member Telephone Advisory Committee BSNL Kanpur 2007-2011, member UP Government VAT Computerization Committee for 1 year, President Kanpur Chartered Account Society for the year 2005-06, President Brahmatra JCs 2097-98, Treasurer, Rotary Club of Kanpur Industrial, 2003-2004. Member of various committees of the Kanpur Income Tax Association for the last 5 years. Regular speaker, national and regional seminars conducted by ICAI and other professional bodies, and has been representing ICAI in European Federation of Accountants and Auditors of SMEs International Conference 2019 at Netherlands. Designed and conceptualized the free mobile app Tax Reckoner on Android platform, which has over 25,000 downloads. Congratulations, sir. Awarded a medal by Jain Smithy Foundation for excellence in field of information and technology. His hobbies are playing badminton and other indoor games. So with this, we welcome Manu Agarwal ji for this presentation. And about our next speaker, our own Central Council member from Hyderabad, Dayaniwas Sharma, partner of Dayaniwas and Co Chartered Accountants. He is the chairman in the member in the Quality Review Board, convener of Members and Students Services Directorate MNSS including SSP, Vice Chairman Digital Accounting and Assurance Board DAAB, XBRL India board member, member of the UDIN Directorate and Digital Transformation Process Reengineering Group DTRG, Chairman of the Center of Excellence COE Hyderabad, and member of multiple central committees. His role at the professional personal CA Dayaniwas Sharma qualified in 2005, article with Pricewaterhouse. Thereafter, reviewed Dayaniwas and Co. from 1 member to 130 staff firms and contributed 100 plus years to the fraternity. The group is one of its kind to be called as Indian multinational firms or Make in India firm of chartered accountants. He has been covered by the coffee table book and recognized as Young India Visionary by IMG Innovative Media Group in whole UAE. At ICAI national and international forums, he took sessions and seminars on 23 plus topics. So apart from that, he is my friend. We both have studied in the same library. So my friend has gone to the Central Council. I'm really delighted to see him at this level and very happy to see you there at this position. And with this, I request Daya and Manuji to take over. Okay, and just a minute.
Thank you, Ritesh.
Yes, Daya. Over to you, Daya.
And only before Manuji starts his session, I can only tell you one thing to all the members of tax that a friend who's
CST का
उसको रितेश सबको म्यूट कर दो.
Yes sir, doing it. कर रहा हूँ sir.
3, 4, 2.
So before I request Manuji to share his views, I am happy to say that I am his vice chairman, and again before that is Ritesh, very close friends, studied together. It is a first of his opportunity to come on any platform and share the satisfaction of having a friend like Ritesh. I still remember my days, Manu bhai, that when I first time gave a lecture was in Hyderabad branch, was under managing committee member. And now I'm again happy that for the first time I'm talking in Tax Bar Association, and again as a friend. Yes, Ramdev sir has been a family friend and uncle also to me. But I think first, rather than thanking him, I would like to thank Ritesh because of his friendship and his love and affection.
My pleasure.
It's been always a great thing. And his support also was very much there, Manu sir, for me to reach out to the council. So I always will be an obligated.
Always be there. It will be there always, yeah.
Thank you, Ritesh. Over to you, Manu.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Devai, and the president of the Tax Bar Association, Ramdev ji, other office bearers, Ritesh ji, and of course my co-speaker and dear friend Dayaniwas Sharma ji. First of all, I'm really happy for being here. It's in this COVID period, whether you're in your neighboring city or whether you're miles away in Hyderabad, like I am, it hardly makes a difference. This is the impact that technology has had on each one of us. And members who are 24 years, members who are of 48 years, members who have 68 years, all have learned how to operate Zoom. There's hardly anybody in the country who would say, give me just Zoom here. Now, first, before starting, I would really say that I would like to thank Ritesh Bhai also personally for sending such a wonderful person like Dayaniwas Sharma ji to the council. He has been with me throughout. It's the second year of his in council and my fifth year. The first year also, he was very closely associated with me as vice chairman of this digital accounting and assurance board. I was heading the SSP portal, which he is now heading, and he was again closely associated. Well, being associated is one thing, but being good at it and being excellent at it is another thing. That's what Dayabai has been. He has always excelled in whatever he's done and has been not only supporting but taking all the great initiatives in the institute. This year he has basically he's heading the peer review board, the MSS section, and he's I would not say vice chairman, I would say co-chairman of Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, and driving all sorts of initiatives. Sometimes when I speak to him in the evening or in the night, I say, "Bhai, I don't know how you can do so many things. How do you manage your own office, etc., etc." So these are the words, and he's doing. All I can say in short is he's doing excellent work in the council, and a really true representative from Hyderabad, somebody who the council needs and who's really devoting a lot of time. So thanking all the members of this association who are with him, who have helped him to continue to do so, and I'm sure that we may see a future president one day in there. So that is the type of contribution which he's making in the council. Now, coming to the topic, coming to my topic in today's session is basically virtual firms, working from home, and everything which everybody is talking about. SCL, yes, it's true that in the morning I received a call from the president, Ramdev ji. He said ki, we have members who are of 60, 65 years plus age, so when you deliberate, kindly keep them in mind. Kindly address their issues and try to keep it very simple. Well, today we have some limited time, so I will go through the basics of what I perceive as being important or being of general use. Someday, some other day, we could come for a very detailed sort of discussion because Dayaba is also an expert in this. And together we take a lot of sessions, we do a lot of deliberations, and at the institute level also, we are trying to help members by organizing various small courses. So, well, I'll start with a very small presentation, not presentation actually, just a few thoughts which I would like to share with you. Well, running a CA or a law firm, which we all do, is a demanding job. I would just say when we started our office, the intention was to advise clients on accounting and finance matters, effective tax planning, fundraising for growth, and so on and so forth. When I started, when you started, when everybody started his own office, as we all are practitioners, this is what we think that we will do this, we will do that, and ultimately make some money while doing it. This is our. But what actually has happened is, I think the current scenario is, but instead of this, what have ended up doing is so much manual work, creating monthly MIS reports, tracking compliances, filling GST returns, filling all those TDS returns and everything that we have probably got lost. We've probably, what we came in for is no longer existing. If we try to evaluate what we've been doing, what we find is that we are stuck up in the daily routine, and value addition is something which we have lost. Value addition is something which we are unable to do. Now, this is the crux of what when we started our practice, or a practicing CA or a law firm should be doing. as a consultant, we should be adding value. And when we add value, we get our way. If we do not add value, where will the money come from? So one thing which we have to remember, which we have to keep in mind is that we have to add value to the client. This is the number one thing which I would tell everybody to be careful of and to try and evaluate. Now, the second thing which again was mentioned by your esteemed president was that age. And well, one thing which I would like to say is here is in this digital world, age probably does not matter. Or if I put it in a simpler way, age should not matter. Why should it matter? Now, you must have heard stories, you must have seen people, you must have seen movies where 8 years, 10 years, 15-year-old kids are doing something which is unimaginable. If you look at the profile of people in the technology, age is no bar. When a person of 10 years, 12 years, 13 years can learn, why can't a person a bit older? The only thing which stops a person from learning or from trying is his inherent fear. His inherent belief, I have not done it in the beginning, so I will not be able to. But when in a span of 10 years, from his birth to the age of 10 years, 12 years, a child can do it, why can't we do it? This is a question which we have to ask. Now, who had taught us about Zoom? And 4 months before, if we go to somewhere around about February or March, was anybody ready to adopt Zoom? Not at all. Nobody knew that. And nobody bothered about it. If I would have asked you, let's have a Zoom meeting. Arey bhai, we will go and meet, we will have coffee, we will sit in a restaurant. What is this Zoom? Why this Zoom? But today, everybody is happy. Everybody is happy. So when the need came, everybody learned. I distinctly remember, I have also spent some 30 to 33 years in this profession. So it's not a small amount of time. I distinctly remember the days when calculator was first introduced. People said, is this going to be used for totally? Will I have to use a calculator? What will happen to my mind? My mind will become dull. I'm not going to use this gadget. I'm going to do the totaling by hand. Well, calculator came, advanced machines came, and finally a computer came. And everything, every totaling was done by machines. So did this hold true? No, it didn't. I can give you another example. Now, cashier in a bank was a specialized job. Not everybody in the bank could become a cashier because it required A, the skill of counting, and B, the skill of being able to detect counterfeit notes. That was the skill set which was required. And only those who were trained or were specialized were allowed to. In comes the counting machine. What happens? This specialization of the expertise required no longer exists. What happens is that anybody who can operate a machine can become a cashier because no skills is required. You put the notes in the machine, the count will come automatically. The machine will tell whether they are fake or they are real. So this is the requirement is not. Similarly, the same is happening to our profession. Now, previously filling a return was probably a skilled job. Somebody who knew in what column what has to be filled could do the job. Today, everything is done by software. There came a time when manually filling a company return became practically impossible because so many columns to fill, 33, 34 pages, 40 pages of return. Each and every column has to be filled. Not possible, man. So this is how things are changing. So my first advice to everybody is that please, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your previous knowledge, do not shy away from learning how to operate a computer, from searching through the web. Nothing is very difficult. It is all Very, very easy. When a child can learn it, when a 5-year kid can operate it, then why can't we, with say 30 years of experience, 20 years of experience, learn it? If they can learn it in 10 days, we should be able to learn it in 6 days. So what is required is a change in the mindset. First of all, we should take this out from our mind, कि मेरा time निकल गया. My time is gone. Now the newer generation will do. No, my time is still there. I can do. This is the attitude. Now, I can show you basically a few things which are very easy to do, which you can perform very easily, which helps you in your day-to-day practice. Now, let us take a small example of Tally. How many of you, most of you must be using Tally, or Tally must be used with your client? Do you know there is an option in Tally wherein you can import the bank account details and only you have to select the account head? I'll just again once share my screen and show you. Now, in this Tally again, there's an option import data. When you go to import data, it asks about bank details. When you go to bank details, it will ask the name of the file to be imported. Now, what happens is you import your Excel file or whatever file you receive from the bank, convert it into Excel and import it. So what happens is all the entries which are there in the statement automatically get imported into your time. All you have to do is to select which account it is going to be imported. Once that is done, your entries are done. So if you have imported data from an Excel file, your bank statement into Tally, then the need of a reconciliation is done. Reconciliation is no longer required. Reconciliation, because when you have imported it from the bank Excel file itself, so all the entries are bound to Tally. So this is what is happening. Now, taking it one step further, what is going to happen in future? What are these online portals doing? Now, you must have heard of probably QuickBooks or HostBooks or other cloud-based accounting softwares. Now, they are coming into abundance. We should, before they all become very, very prevalent and everybody shifts, we should also try to understand them so that we can advise our clients which software to purchase, which tool to use. Now, what happens in those cloud-based softwares is simply that the whole data is available on cloud and the software has a provision where it automatically gets connected with your bank account and automatically imports the banking entry. You do not have to even download an Excel file. It will communicate with the bank, get all the files on board and do the entries for you. Now the entries, you have to select the account head, but with artificial intelligence, that is also not required. The computer will automatically prompt you, this is the account in which you should make the entry. So this is where we are moving. This is what is in the horizon. Now, coming back to some basic other things, I'll show you one more. Just a second, I'll again share my screen and show you another useful tool which everybody can use. Just a second. Just one second. Now, there's another website. I'll just type it here, finline.in. Just to give you an example, this is basically a software to create project reports. Now I'm just showing you a few things which are happening. I'm not saying this is a good product. I'm not saying this is a product which you use. There are n number of similar products available for everything which you use. Now what happens is, planning to apply for a bank loan, create project reports online. Now, this is basically what it does. You can generate a project report. It gives you guided assistance or gives you, you can do it on your own self. Now, just look at the pricing plan. If you look at the pricing plan, it will show you probably it takes $9.99 if you do it yourself and $14.99 if you do it through guidance. So this is the cost. You can do it whenever you require. So that's a cheap. Now, the reports which it generates, these are the various types of project reports which are available easily. Now you can have for a commerce institute, for an accountancy institute, for an automobile workshop, for a four-wheeler workshop, car service station, ambulance man. If you want to go to view report, you can see any of the reports. So now this is the type of reports which is generated. It will give you everything which is required to create a project report for a bank. So this is another small example of where we are heading to. What we should do, we should find such tools. We should be on the lookout. We should basically be searching. And since these softwares or these services today are not capital intensive, it is very easy to adopt. You don't need a report. All you have lost is probably 999 rupees. You won't use this platform. Or at the most, if you've taken guided assistance, then 14.99. So that is the total loss. And if you like the project report, it becomes a very easy source for you to continue in future. Now, another thing which I would like to speak about is about how do we intend to go? What can we do in our office? Today, everybody is in lockdown mode. Now, like in Kanpur, we have again entered into a lockdown phase. We were in the initial lockdown phase, everything opened. Then again, lockdown has been clamped. So now everybody is talking about work from home. Work from home used to be something which was only reserved for MNCs. That is what we had heard. The first time, about 5-6 years back, I heard of work from home was when I was with a relative of mine who was working in an MNC company. He said, I'm working from home. I asked, ye kya hota hai? So he told me, well, working from home simply means that you have to be connected, you have to be from your office, and you have to do everything sitting at your office. I said, people must be very happy. They hardly you must be working, but they say, he said, no. In fact, whenever we work from home, we do more work. I heard it, and in a sort of disbelief, I probably thought it is another way of taking a holiday, and you're working from home, you're half of the time sleeping, doing whatever you feel like, and saying that you're working. But now, seeing everybody working from home, I've actually realized that working from home probably ends up in much, much more productive work. Now, for us as chartered accountants, tax practitioners, what is the difference? Should we also work? Yes, we have to work. With the current scenario, we can't go to the client's place, or the client does not welcome us. We also do not want to go to the client's place because of the fear of catching the deadly disease. Now, the other thing is that this scenario probably could continue for 3 months, 2 months, or even a year. Nobody knows that. So why not take advantage of it and start this work from home? Now, work from home, the first thing which comes to the mind is, how do we start? What is the basic infrastructure required? The basic infrastructure required is first a very good internet connection at your house. That is one of the prerequisites. Without this, nothing can survive. Even this Zoom meeting would be. The second thing is, how do I shift my computer from my house to from my office to my house, or how do I host it on a cloud? Well, friends, there are 2-3 methods you can do. One method is bring your computer to your house and start operating. Well, that solves one problem, but it does not solve all problems, because you may have to go to the office again. Some people are working from remote. So the next thing is to have a server established. Now, servers you can establish in 3 ways. One, you can establish your own server, which is probably the cheapest. The second is you can have a cloud server. And the third is you can have a dedicated machine for yourself, which is again hosted by some third. I will try to throw some light on all these 3 options so that you can understand and choose the appropriate option. The first option is have our own server. Now for this, what is required is a dedicated machine, which which should have a Windows Server license or Windows Server license. Half of the people have a license, half of the people don't have a license. I'm not going to comment on that, but what is recommended is you should have a licensed Windows Server. Then that machine should be connected to the internet. For that, what you require is a high-speed internet connection, and second, a static IP. So the static IP costs roughly around about 1,000 rupees per year. So that is a very negligible cost. At that cost, 1,000 rupees per year, what you can easily do is you can have your own IP address, which is a static IP. You can get it connected, and the machine gets connected with your static IP. Once you have that static IP, what happens is that anybody who has the requisite authority, who has the user ID password, can log into that machine from any location. All he requires is an internet connection. A remote access login can be done from any place. So that is probably one of the cheapest modes, where your internet connection would be the only limiting factor. If you have a high-speed internet connection, this requirement should be working fine with it. Now, the challenges in this are that you may have to use a firewall because of various attacks or various data attacks which are happening these days. So that again is a physical device. A physical firewall is preferable, which would cost somewhere around about 25,000 rupees for you to install. It will take all backups. It will also help you in filtering who is coming, who is accessing your server, and do the all kinds of security required, since it is a physical. So with this, you can be up and running, install all your softwares, put all your files there, and enjoy remote access from wherever you are. This is the cheapest method. But for this, you have to have your machine on for 24 hours, or for better, whatever your working hours are. Suppose your working hours are from 9 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the evening. So once you switch off the machine, nobody can access it. But beyond, when it is on, everybody can access it from his locations, and a total log of who has accessed, what has he accessed, can be easily made. The second option is having a cloud-based virtual server. Well, a number of companies are providing this cloud-based service, and there you pay as you use. Jitna usage, utna payment. This is how the model works, and it is say somewhere 3,000, 4,000 rupees an annum per month is the approximate charge, depending upon your usage. It could be slightly less, it could be slightly more. This is what you have to. Again, they provide you with the same infrastructure, but there the simple limitation is that it depends upon the number of softwares which you want to use, because whatever is on the cloud has to be licensed, and if you're using a lot of softwares, then it may become a slightly expensive sort of server requirement. The third is having a service provider provide you with all these facilities on a physical basis. In this, what happens is, instead of installing the server at your place, some third party installs the server at his own location. It's a physical machine which is dedicated to you, for which you have all the password IDs, etc., etc. You can do whatever you like, but it is hosted and 24 hours available to you. Again, the cost of this is roughly around about 5,500 rupees per month. This is what the basic cost of such a device is. It could be slightly more, it could be slightly less. There are various other big companies also, like Amazon, like Microsoft Azure, who are providing these cloud-based servers, these services. It depends upon the databases which you want to use, and a lot of things which you are happy while using. So this is one of the basic ways in which how you can set a server and how you can start working from a remote location. Another small thing which I would like to show you about how the future is going to be. I'll again share my screen for a second and show it to you. Just take. Can you hear the sound?
No, not
No,
able.
Manu bhai.
Just 1 second. I'll just. Now you can hear. Now is it audible?
No, sir. No, not audible.
Okay, I'll just show the. It's a very small clipping.
Unpause it, Manu bhai.
Oh, just a second. Now it's running.
No, sir, it's not running. Yes, now it is running. Yes.
Okay. So basically, this is an advanced view of probably what would be in the offing, how would stock taking be done, etc., etc. But now I can share with you some smaller practical examples which have started to happen in our close vicinity. Now today, what is happening is stock taking. Okay, with these drones, etc., etc., probably is only possible in large businesses and where you have big, properly stacked godowns. But I will just give you some small examples now. What has started happening is people, whenever they're doing physical verification, have also started taking photographs of the material just to show the management and the auditors, whoever is concerned, that yes, the actual physical verification. Small mobile apps have come into being where you do physical verification, you also click photographs and they are automatically attached to a file and can easily be reproduced for verification. I'll give you another example. A friend of mine was basically, he had to do a physical verification of all the vehicles which Cars 24 dealers had. Now it was a big task because the big Car 24's dealers, since they are in used car business, they used to have stock of 800 vehicles, 900 vehicles. Now 900 cars standing in a location, it's a huge space which is required. So what those people had to do was to verify each and every car, note down the registration number, and it was very difficult to tally. So then what happened was various ideas came. A small mobile app was developed. Now what you had to do was simply go to the car, take a photograph of that number plate. It will automatically read the number and match it with the database. So as soon as you take the photograph, it will show you, yes, car matched, okay, stock verified. So when you keep on going, even if you try to verify that car twice, it will not take it twice. It will keep on showing you this car is left, this car is left. So things are changing, and we also have to adapt to these changes. We have to keep our ears and eyes open at what is actually happening, what is going to happen, how should I educate my client, what better service can I give to my client, because as I told you in the beginning, value addition is the key. If you can help your client save time, save his resources, you will automatically get remunerated. If you cannot do that, again, you have a problem, because unless your client earns money, he cannot earn money. This is a very simple sort of theory which all tax practitioners, all chartered accountants know very well, that if our client progresses, we progress. So these are some of the basic things which one should do. Again, you can have task management softwares. I think Daya Bhai will be speaking a lot about task management softwares, about how to manage your staff, how to have these timesheets, etc. What is the importance of these timesheets? Because he's using a number of these tools in his own office. I have seen those tools, so he would be in a better position to guide you about that. But basically, what I would like to impress upon all of you is that start using technology to its utmost, because technology, in comparison to the benefits which it gives, costs very, very less. Things which you otherwise take hours or days in doing can be done in minutes or hours. That is the power. And once you start saving money, start saving your time, time again is money. The other thing is the accuracy, the type of things which you can do with technology is actually unbelievable. I can just share with you.
Manu bhai,
Yes, Devin.
one quick thing, Ritesh and Ramdev sir. You might have seen one particular when you are reading profile of Manu sir with regards to a technology which has been developed by him in his own office. Though fortunately this is not a ICAI platform where we are actually talking. But if you feel appropriate, I would request Manu sir, and if you think it appropriate, considering tax bar, he is also having one particular tool which we should actually look at. Just push the data into that software and you will have more than 35 different exceptional items coming. And today the biggest challenge for all our practicing firms is that, you know, we do not have articles, we do not have staff, we do not have people to support us. And even one boy or a girl is trained on that particular software, I think it will become a very huge success for all our firms. As Manu sir was talking about cost reduction, but not at a cost of quality. So if you think it appropriate, might be you can just request, I can request on your behalf to show that it will benefit most of our chartered accountants and tax practitioners who are members of tax bar. Manu bhai, though it is not considered as a marketing this thing, but I think it will give an advantage to people.
Okay.
Maybe they can similarly find many other tools if it is there, which I have not seen though. So it is appropriate. Ramdev sir, आप और Ritesh अगर हाँ बोले तो मतलब.
Yes sir, please.
मनु सर,
हाँ जी,
एक सेकंड में आपको इंटरप्ट कर रहा हूँ, सॉरी सर। ये सोने पे सुहागा कौन नहीं चाहेगा?
नहीं सर, देखो ऐसा है, अभी तक जितनी चीजें मैंने दिखाई उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी. दे आर नॉट एट ऑल कंसर्न्ड विद मी, नॉट डू आई हैव एन इंटरेस्ट. हियर द सिंपल प्रॉब्लम व्हाई आई डोंट शो दिस टूल इज बिकॉज मेरा डायरेक्ट इंटरेस्ट है. But still, I'll just show you a few to get a hang of it. I'm not actually saying that this is the only product available. This is something just for you people to see. I'll show you that.
आप वैसा नहीं, ऐसा बता दीजिए कि आप ऐसा भी फायदा उठा सकते.
ठीक है, ठीक है. ओके.
और एक चीज सर, ये आपका जो एंड्रॉइड पे टैक्स रेकनर आया है, इसके बारे में आपके प्रोफाइल में था. तो ये ऐसे मैजिक के ट्रिक्स तो हमें बताना ही चाहिए.
सर ये वाला तो जो एंड्रॉइड वाला है वो तो आप आराम से डाउनलोड करिए. इट इज अ फ्री ऐप. वो कोई भी जना डाउनलोड कर सकता है. एंड्रॉइड पे है, टैक्स रेकनर करके मिल जाएगा आपको प्ले स्टोर पे. आप कर लीजिए. इसमें मैं अभी ज्यादा इसलिए नहीं बोलता, मैं 2-4 दिन में आप कर लीजिए डाउनलोड. अभी भी काम करेगा. इसमें क्या है, जितने भी कंपनी लॉ के आपको सर्च हैं वो सारे अवेलेबल हैं. आपको इनकम टैक्स में कभी भी कैपिटल गेन का कैलकुलेशन करने की जरूरत पड़ जाए, वो इमीडिएटली अवेलेबल है. A lot of things are available which are also available through the website. But it's a compilation of all things. आज किसी कंपनी की कैपिटल कितनी है, डायरेक्टर कौन कौन है, ये आप मोबाइल पे ही बैठे बैठे ढूंढ सकते हो. इट इज सो इजी. सो इट इज अवेलेबल फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. आराम से करिए, इसमें तो कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. एंड थोड़े से इसमें टैक्स रेट्स के लास्ट ईयर के अपडेशन नहीं है, वो मैं 1-2 दिन में करा दूंगा. दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच इज मिसिंग राइट नाउ. सो आई विल गेट दैट.
थैंक यू सर. जरा वो भी बताइए सर आपका.
हाँ वो बताता हूँ, वो बता रहा हूँ सर. एक मिनट, I'll just again.
रामदेव सर, आई विल टेल यू वन थिंग.
हम्म.
आपका पूरा टैक्स ऑडिट पीरियड है ना, आप हंसते खेलते घर पे बैठे बैठे पूरा टैक्स ऑडिट कर सकते हो उससे. एंड आई एम नॉट जोकिंग.
Very nice.
Again, sir, this is a product. Again, this basically this product is a product which works on Tally, on Excel, and on Busy. If your client has his accounts on any of these, मतलब या तो Tally पे हो या Busy पे हो या Excel में extractable हो. Excel में अगर template दिया हुआ है, अगर Excel हो. Now I'll show you. I'll just log in to it directly. Log in करके ही दिखा देता हूँ. ये basically what happens is you can open your clients. आप कोई भी client खोलेंगे, उसका डाटा आप टैली से एक्सट्रैक्ट करेंगे. नाउ टैली से कैसे करते हैं? टैली में एक ऑप्शन आ जाता है एक्सपोर्ट टू एमडी, एक्सपोर्ट फॉर एमडी ऑडिट फाइल. वो भी मैं आपको एक सेकंड दिखा देता हूँ. ये टैली मैंने आपको पहले दिखाया था. इज इट विजिबल दिस टैली स्क्रीन या नहीं है?
विजिबल है, फॉन्ट्स बहुत स्मॉल है.
ये टैली में एक ऑप्शन आ जाता है एमडी ऑडिट फाइल.
ओके.
बस इस पे क्लिक करिए, एक फाइल बन जाएगी.
नहीं, टैली नहीं आ रहा है सर. सर
टैली
वो
नहीं आ
पहले
रहा है.
आप स्टॉप, नहीं आप पहले ये
एक
स्टॉप करें स्क्रीन.
एक सेकंड. अब टैली आ गया.
आ गया सर.
ये टैली में एक ऑप्शन आ जाता है एमडी ऑडिट फाइल.
ओके.
किसी भी क्लाइंट में आप ये यहाँ पे जाके क्लिक करेंगे तो एक फाइल बन जाएगी. दैट इज द आउटपुट विच इज रिक्वायर्ड ऑफ टैली. टैली में आप इतना काम कर लीजिए, काम फिनिश हो जाता है. देन आई विल क्लोज दिस टैली एंड गो बैक टू दैट सॉफ्टवेयर.
रितेश, इसके एक्सेप्शंस देखना तुम. इट इज रियली वर्थ. मेरा भी, मैं
Okay.
परसों ही देखा. आई वाज नॉट नोइंग अबाउट ऑल दिस थिंग्स. देन बिकॉज़ आई गॉट टू नो इमीडिएटली, आई थॉट इट इज बेटर वी शेयर इट हियर.
ये आप टैली में देयर इज एन ऑप्शन इंपोर्ट डाटा फ्रॉम टैली, और टैली में जाके वही वाली जो फाइल बनाइए, क्लिक हियर टू इंपोर्ट डाटा फ्रॉम mda.txt फाइल. आप ये इंपोर्ट कर दीजिए तो वो टैली से सीधे सीधे डाटा यहाँ आ जाता है. देन वी गो टू आवर ऑडिट चेकलिस्ट. नाउ इट विल टेल अस कि ओपनिंग ट्रायल बैलेंस टैलीड है, क्लोजिंग ट्रायल टैलीड है, डेटर अकाउंट्स विद क्रेडिट बैलेंसेस 118 हैं इस डाटा में. आप इस पे क्लिक करेंगे तो कौन कौन से 118 अकाउंट है और क्या बैलेंस है वो आ जाएगा. आप इस पे क्लिक करेंगे तो उसका लेजर भी दिखा देगा. तो दिस इज वन रिपोर्ट. द अदर रिपोर्ट इज, इस तरह की बहुत सारी रिपोर्ट, जैसे अकाउंट हैविंग एंट्री ऑफ सेल्स बट नॉट क्लासिफाइड एज डेटर्स. सेल की एंट्री है लेकिन डेटर में क्लासिफाई नहीं किया, ये बता देगा. अकाउंट्स क्लासिफाइड एज डेटर्स विद पेमेंट एंट्रीज. डेटर में क्या होता है? वी नॉर्मली रिसीव पेमेंट, बट इफ देयर इज एन अकाउंट वेयर यू हैव मेड अ पेमेंट, इट इज अ प्रॉब्लम. सो आप इस पे क्लिक कर सकते हैं. इस पे क्लिक करेंगे तो इट विल शो यू कि दिस इज एन अकाउंट व्हिच इज ओपनड इन सन्ड्री डेटर्स एंड यू हैव मेड अ पेमेंट. So it comes out with all the exception reports possible. Sales की, purchase की. Now it will show you cash payments above 10,000. If you click here, it will show you all the accounts in which cash payment has been made above 10,000. Now you can see capital account तो ठीक है, but this Warfridge and Demirage. Then you can see Kesoram Industries को दिया हुआ है. You can basically find out all the exceptions. Again, GST analysis पूरी है. You can import the the GST 2A file will come directly from the portal and it will do a comparison with the books of accounts. फिर उसके बाद it has various other reports like expense summary आ जाएगी. It will give you a month by month bifurcation, April, May, June, July. So you will come to know whether the expenses have been properly debited, या कोई छूट तो नहीं गया, whether some is missing or not. That can easily be deciphered. Then you have basically income tax assessment होता है. Then we require this quite often. A monthly sale purchase. Suppose 10% gross profit रख दिया, so it will give a monthly sales, opening stock, purchase, direct expenses, gross profit, and closing stock. So it will make a monthly chart for you. You can have this chart in this method also. This is something which is normally required at the time of income tax assessment. Then you can have in sales reports, you can have sales invoice analysis. This will tell you कि आपकी sales invoice में कोई missing number तो नहीं है, कोई duplicate तो नहीं है. जैसे it will tell you कि this one number is missing, 56 number is missing out of these 170 invoices. It will tell you कौन सा आपका sequence, अगर date की कोई wrong sequence है, कोई duplicate है, तो सब बता देता है. This can easily be. So basically what it does is it gives you a lot of analysis. It can give you material wise percentage आपको दे देगा.
So Manu bhai, we can take that in detail sometime aram se.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to tell people that how efficiently we can make things happen. These are there might be similar kind of things which are available.
Tools. This is how tools can be used, and the work can be done in a easy manner. This is just to show that this is just one tool. So you can have n number of tools where you can do various sales analysis, ratio analysis, etc., etc. These are all the things which are possible. So all I would like to conclude, here by saying that what is required is to keep your eyes, to keep your ears open, to listen to whatever technologies are available, to try and adopt them, to just simply forget that age or I do not know or anything is of any relevance. These are all things which anybody and everybody can learn very easily. So I think by adopting these technologies, we can ensure that we remain ahead of everybody and we can compete and really gain. And I would like to close by saying that this lockdown, whatever it is, jo bhi nuksan hua, whatever we've all suffered is okay, but this has given us the opportunity to become healthier, to become wiser because of these seminars. And if we are unable to do these two things, I think we have wasted our time, and time was never a problem. With this, I thank you once again for inviting me, and thanks a lot. We can have an extended session anytime you feel like. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Manu Agarwal ji. Just we had a snacks type of items. We are still hungry. So we need full lunch menu with you.
Okay. We'll surely do that.
So unless and until you provide that to us, we'll left hungry.
Okay.
That is the good thing we have seen. What I mean to say, this technology is no doubt very much helpful. Only people must adopt it. They should have that attempt and intent, both. Otherwise, technology is of no use for those persons. And technology is very helpful for all those persons who are ready to do it. So with this technology, as you said, we can do wonders. And as you said, value addition is very important because the client needs only that. One thing is there, not only from the perspective of the client, but also from the perspective of the ongoing technology revolution on part of the various government agencies and departments. Also, we have to keep in track with them. Nowadays, virtual hearings of tribunals are going on. So, whatever documents we want to furnish, at least we should be in position to know how to scan and how to submit. Even if we don't know that, that will be very difficult for us to argue the case there also. So really excellent presentation you have given, sir. Now I request Dayaniwas Sharma to take over from Manu Agarwal ji.
Thank you, sir. Manu sir, thank you very much. Though I requested you to show the tool was only from an interest that, sometime we feel that technology, there is a very nice saying by the great man called Tesla. We have been hearing the car Tesla, right? There is a saying by him, there is a difference between progress and technology. Progress benefits mankind. Technology does not necessarily do so. So it's basically the situation where we have some changes have come in this particular thing. And but before going forward, I think the kind of inputs you have given is something very good. First of all, let me thank the president of Tax Bar Association, Ramdev Budraji, for giving me an opportunity to come today and share my views. And more importantly, Ritesh Mittal, who's happened to be a very dear friend. And I'm fortunate that my father's closest and dearest person, Suresh Kumar Jain sir, both have been the past presidents of this body, and it gives me immense pleasure to come and share my views on the technological side. If you see behind me also, it is 1001. So might be Ritesh will realize it more effectively, because in EDP we had that particular subject which we had to read and do it. But one thing which I would like to say, friends, on this open forum, that I am that student who's got zero twice in EDP, and today I am heading the technology part of the ICAI with a lot of passion and interest. So the fact goes very simple: technology doesn't have any age limit, neither the age of a senior nor the age of a junior. Today, 3 years old granddaughter of might be Ramdev Botraji might be enjoying the phone all throughout by watching different kind of videos. And similarly, a 75 years old gentleman who is my father, he is also attending all the sessions and seminars across the length and breadth of the city and town and country by using his mobile phone. And all of us are actually participating very effectively. I think the kind of benefit which has gone in the minds of people, I think the kind of wisdom which is reached out is something unimaginable. And one of the very good examples which Manu Agarwal ji gave was the calculator example, that people were thinking in a different perspective, and then also the filing of returns and a bundle of files and papers and everything. So we never thought that in last 4 months back, we never thought that these kind of sessions are going to happen, this kind of adoption of technology is going to happen. And more importantly, now the most critical factor is basically when you want to get your work done, your staff is at home and you don't know how to measure their performance. You don't know how to evaluate their being there and calculating what it need, how they are doing, what they are doing. Lot of things are coming up. And very rightly, if you have heard Manuji very clearly, when you talk about a VPN or a cloud server technology, I don't think anyone could actually so simply, in subtle way, give an idea about what VPN is, IP address is, and what cloud server technology is. You will not be, you should be surprised that, today to get a cloud space, you get it for 99 rupees per month, which is close to 30 GB to 50 GB, depending upon different cloud spaces. My office uses a lot of technological tools, which we are trying to work furthermore on doing it. You will be surprised, and when I start sharing my views, you will be shocked to know that my articles, Ramdev sir, one important thing I would like to say, when my article goes to a client place and he clicks in on his mobile, with the geotagging, we get to know where that article is. If he is sitting at home on the road or in a class and he says that I am attending office or a client place, the system doesn't accept it. So now there is a question which is there, which we need to see whether efficiency or effectiveness, what is critical, which we need to really understand. And my presentation goes very simple. I'm just going to share my presentation quickly, because we have very little time and we all have to attend some more programs and meetings. So this is the thought which I thought it is important, which I share with you all people. and how to improve efficiency and as digital firm. I think you all will be excited to know what digital firm is all about. What do you actually have to do? Manuji told about certain technical things, how the technical things are to be evaluated. What do I do? So before going to the presentation, I have one definition and 3 questions which is in one. Because in CA examination, generally we have one question, under that we have 5 bits. So I followed the same structure. The meaning of efficiency, we need to really understand and evaluate. The state or quality of being efficient is by good use of time and energy, which you have seen that, which Manuji showed one video, or might be today when he talked about his tool, particularly what is it actually giving me? Whether it is saving time or is it making efficient is something which we need to really evaluate. Now I have questions for all you people. Which is very important. Just answer to yourself, or might be you can put it in the chat box. The difference between efficiency and effectiveness we need to first evaluate, right? So the first question for you is, a person climbing a wrong building within, a person is been given a task to climb a particular building, right, which is too tall. And now the question comes from that frame of case. A person is being told to climb, he is climbing a wrong building within the given time, whether he is efficient or effective. What is he? If anyone would like to put it in the chat box, I'll be more than happy. Now the second question is, a person climbing a right building within the given time, whether he is effective and efficient or efficient. Third question is, a person climbing right building but not within the given time, he is effective or efficient. You know the answer. The first one is, he is basically effective, not efficient, because he climbed the wrong building. He is effective and efficient in case of number 2, and in case of number 3, he is not effective but efficient. He is reaching out the destination. The point which I'm trying to dive you is that when you are talking about technology, whether it is increasing my efficiency and effectiveness, is both points which we need to really understand. And for understanding that, you need to also understand what Manuji has talked about in a detailed manner. That is something which we need to really appreciate and understand in a very clear. If I use a tool, whether it is reducing my time and but giving the right result. If I am using a particular tool or a technology, whether I am actually, making it more efficient, my people are becoming efficient, and I'm qualitatively reducing my time. So these kind of questions are going to come in your entire discussion. So let me take you to the next one. People often have misunderstood. There is a concept called virtual firm. There is no concept called virtual firm. There is nothing which is called virtual. Virtual is something which you and I are doing, right? So what I would like to say is face-to-face felicitation, which is felicitation is basically a mechanism which we were doing all throughout before 3 months of this COVID. And we were doing a physical interaction, which was very important, which is going to continue also, but at a reduced level. Number 2 is virtual facilitation. On other hand, refers to online meeting, which you and I are doing, that are held remotely. All of us are sitting in different locations and actually able to manage. The last one is digital facilitation center. Is an umbrella term that covers face-to-face facilitation using digital platform. Like if you see, we can be digital, we can operate remotely, but not virtually. मतलब मैं इंसान बनकर ही काम कर सकता हूँ, मेरा virtual clone आ ही नहीं सकता. So office का clone बन ही नहीं सकता. So point is, you have to be having automation in your office. You have to digitally use everything and make a effective utilization of entire office in a right sense. So we please understand, there is no concept of virtual office. It is only virtual meetings which we can have under a digital platform and act remotely in the entire scene. Let us now evaluate what we have to do, which is very important. What are the actionable points which we need to do our firm to be called as a remote access firm? And Manuji he talked about specifically one part, which is primarily that, you need to use a VPN server or a IP address or a cloud server, or might be a system which is standalone in your office, and you need to operate in a particular format. How do we do? Where do we do our assessment? Do we have any platform where we can do an assessment of our own firm? Yes, we do have. Fortunately, most of us are chartered accountants in tax bar, and if we are not, we need to take help of some other friends who are actually chartered accountants who can go and access the digital learning hub. And we, as the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, has developed a tool called Digital Competency Maturity Model. That means it is a self-assessment tool of a firm which is using technology. So if you see, there are multiple chapters which are defined. Earlier we had DCMM 1, which had only one single set of questions which was there. Now we have categorized into a tax firm, a consulting firm, a audit firm, or a management consultancy firm. There are different parameters we have evaluated, and we have put the question. It is actually a tool which you can play around with. I think every one of us, Ramdev sir, one request which I have, if we want to make our chartered accountants and tax practitioner really know what technology and what kind of technology adoption we should be having, the most important thing which we should do is, might be we can take a separate session in detail on digital competency maturity model. We can proudly say that India is the only leader in the world. Fortunately, Manuji's chairmanship, my vice chairmanship in digital accounting and assurance board, we could develop this tool which is online, and we should actually go through the entire process. It talks about whole lot of things. So this will give you an idea where your firm is. Example, there are 10 questions. Out of the 10 questions, you are able to answer, your answers to are positive for 6, and the balance 4 are negative. So this 4 will be shown in a red box, and when you click there, what is the course of action your firm should take is actually written in that. It shows it is an implementation guide is very clearly there. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. If you want to put a green tick to these 4 questions, these things you need to do. It is beautifully designed tool which is going to give you a fantastic assessment of your firm's capability on digital adoption. This is something which we have to actually encourage people doing it. Might be we can take a 3-hour session sometime independently to run through the entire process. Now we have very little time. I'll just run through, because by 4:30 we need to ensure that we complete. Now the second part is identify steps, areas of improvement, automation, and process improvement. First and the foremost thing is we should know what are the areas we want to automate. Whether I automate my people, whether I automate my process, whether I automate my client. What is that I want to automate? How the documentation, Ramdev sir, you have rightly said, if I have to do a learning with regards to scanning a particular document for filing with the income tax department, right? Then how do I do that in my system? How do I do that in my server? How do I do that in my cloud? There is a folder mechanism which we need to develop. There is a scanning mechanism. There is a documentation indexing mechanism which we need to understand. Because today an article might do a job, or an employee might do a job and go off, but we are going to be permanent. They are not permanent. So the documentation standards, what we need to follow in the entire file structure, we need to really evaluate it well. Might be we can in detail discuss, let people have an idea of what we are trying to talk. And if you get a feedback, whether it has been good discussion and we can enhance this discussion, we'll surely do it. So step-by-step areas of improvement, where do I want to do the improvement? Today, just imagine 2 years back, 2018, we got, government has come out with in the budget that we are going to do a faceless assessment, right? We thought it is not going to come, but today it is reality. 7,000 faceless assessments have been done. 7,000 faceless assessments. It is not a small number, and they have experimented and they have known what the errors have happened, and they are now working towards it. So they didn't implement at totality. They have implemented. So now the face-to-face, working is drastically going to come down in the given point of time. We were thinking, how can it be a new assessing officer is going to know our file? Now just imagine the new returns which have come. The new returns, they understood the existing returns do not have the full data. So they expanded the requirement. Now that means the data which has been filled in the form is going to be in full totality. And the best part is income tax department is now started using artificial intelligence and robotic process automation to pick up similar kind of cases. Please understand, we are way behind. We are way behind. We have not understood where department is going, government is going. It is time where we need to really evaluate and understand. Your client might not tell that he has 10 bank accounts, but the assessing officer will know that he has 10 accounts. You will be having details of only 4 accounts. The kind of consolidation, you see the recent posts which I have done in the news also, in the web media also, that the kind of looping of laws which has been happening, GST to income tax to now CB. Just imagine CBDT going to SEBI and signing a pact with them, MOU. Now all your transactions which you are going to do in stock exchanges, that will automatically getting recorded in 26 AS. What more technology adoption you are expecting the government to come with? Where do we stand? Have we done the assessment? Whether I go back to the step number 2, do we know which are the areas of improvement? Do we know what is happening in the country? What is happening in the world? How department is taking up? Whether GST department is going to be more linkages. Now today, the fact goes ESI, PF, which we never thought. Those department also have got connected on the systems now. So now example, if there is a sale which has been made by a manufacturing unit, multiple invoices are being generated, and GST officer can go back and check whether this company has any employees or not because of only ESI and PF. What is the kind of payment which are made? So now the point which I'm trying to tell is, when you want to identify, you need to identify with a different glasses where one, right? Identify required tools that need to be considered. Now example what Manuji showed, today to go back and check how much you can rely on your article or a staff that he is actually doing a proper assessment of more than 10,000 rupees, 269 SSNT, what kind of information which is there in the tally, are we able to do 100% verification? Today we are not able to do. The fact again goes very simple. This data need to be put into some kind of machine which is understanding this entire thing, doing a 360-degree evaluation and throwing us the information of exception of 35, 36 issues. Creditors are being paid. That is right. But the creditors se paisa aate hue kabhi dekhe hum log. It never happened. Some tools show that also. Identify, then run a proof of concept, which is some of the most important thing. I think individually, it is high time. Ritesh, I request you, you have done a fabulous job in past in our branch by getting the right faculties and all. And I request you now, one important thing is in tax bar or might be Chamber of Commerce, let us get all our chartered accountants who are individual, tax practitioners who are individual, make a group, let them come, deliberate, talk, understand what kind of run you need to do, what kind of tool will be needed, ask exceptions from these people, what is that which they are lacking, what is the difficulty they are facing, whether it is 26 A's or whether it is filing of any returns. Today it's going to be very complicated. If we are in a pool of people, I think we can make it happen. And under Ramdev sir's presidentship, this is doable because he is a go-getter. He'll make it happen. That is for sure. I know his ability in more than one ways. In past also people have done, but past was not so critical. But now 3 months, it has become very critical. And taking this kind of initiative in tax bar, can you just imagine we are talking about technology? This is the answer. This is the futuristic way which he's actually thought about, and he's now taking it so positively that we need to start doing this particular process. Then identify skilled and motivated team members for reaching the level of maturity. Now the point comes, when it is a large firm, it is very easy to do it. When it is a one-man proprietary concern, it is only togetherness of our unity will actually demonstrate that identification of, there will be 1 or 2 or 4 people who are technologically advanced. So get these all 4 people, understand the problems of all people, and do that kind of assessment which is required to be done. Out of identified skill team member, form a committee involving strategy, execution and response. This is what Ramdev sir is actually doing today. His job is to do a strategy part.
And Ritesh, your job is to form a committee and he lead the committee to ensure that our members at a larger level get a benefit. It is not individual benefits which we need to now think about. It need to be like collaborate together to ensure that we make it happen in a larger way. Though might be I'm sounding little different, but I'm trying to just put my thoughts out of my heart, which is going to give benefit to our members. Identify a responsible stakeholder in the leadership to bring the required change, which I am talking about. Acquaint the firm with required tools and plan for implementation. Only if you do the above steps, this is achievable. Today, any person coming, you talk to 10 different people, 10 different tools will come. But what is addressing your requirement is something which we need to really understand. It is very critical. Today, ROC related compliance tools are there. Today, income tax related compliance tools are there. GST compliance tools are there. Talking everything is perfectly good. Understanding the law is perfect. But I think implementation law is becoming a challenging because of the volume of transaction and the expectation from all chartered accountants and the tax practitioners. Then upskill or skill resources with required skill set. No, we think that it is not possible. Example, Ramdev sir has his son who's actually into a chartered accountancy, but he's working with someone else. His time need to be effectively utilized by Ramdev sir. When he is going and doing one particular job in a particular place, then when he is back in the evening, can he consolidate the backup of tally and keep everything? He might not be an expert. I don't want him to be expert. I don't want Suresh Jain sahab or my father to be an expert in technology. But you should know how do you use the available resource. Consolidate, put the data into the system. Sham mein aayega, 6 baje, 7 baje aayega office pe. Tell him to put that entire data into the system. Next day morning to evening, you are totally busy because the data is available. You can evaluate the entire process. So let us not think that, we are living with a limitation in world. We are living with a fantastic people around. Any person today, you would like to say, any young chartered accountant who will be more than happy to just imagine, are we going to mushroom new set of chartered accountants in the process? A boy or a girl might not have a new good job, but that boy or a girl can be a good support for a larger organization because he understands technology well. Let him come and work for you, update the entire data, go back to his office work, and he gets little paid. I think that is something which we need to really think about. And identify the new processes within the firm. It's very important. How do we do it? What do we do it? That is again a detailing thing which we need to do. And the last one which I would like to say is continuously and repeatedly adopt this strategy. I think when we form a group, we form a committee which is going to be, we come together. There are always new things which are going to come. It is going to evolve. Zoom software, what it was earlier and what it is today is a huge amount of difference which is there. So technology will evolve and it is going to take us to the next level. Now let us take an example. How do we actually strategize the entire thing? I have very little time, I know. In next 5 minutes, I'll try to complete the discussion so that, now just imagine, let us take an example for a moment. What I want, my office, I'm sitting in my office. What is my start point and what is my end point? Which is I'm talking about, just imagine entry, process, exit. Entry is my monitoring of attendance, which I was talking about geotagging, whether my person has gone to a client's place or not, whether he's sitting there or not. Even with the technology which we are using today in our office, I have in my mail, it is very important. रामदेव सर बहुत अच्छा चीज है, मैं बताता हूँ आपको, सुनिए सब लोग. मेरी मेल के अंदर अगर if I open my mail screen, in that there is one screen which I can on and I can watch which person is doing what job. That means he is sitting on the system or he is not sitting on the system. So that is the kind of technology adoption we have actually gone for. That is not for monitoring of people, this thing. But when you're talking from work from home, then we need to have a different code of ethics or code to perform certain things and SOPs to perform certain things. So attendance tracker is something which we need to do. And timesheet, which is very important. Unfortunately, let us all agree that the biggest problem for our firms is we have never kept control of our time of people and also what is the work done. And I think most of the time we might have forgotten also to bill our clients. If we are able to track our people timing, then I think we are able to track our billing too. Then the process, which I talked about, file server or monitoring people for files. I cannot depend today on files in the physical form because of various risks which is involved. When I want to access any client, today there are some softwares like Zoho, Microsoft Teams, which is available. There is a server model which is there. Believe me, what is the advantage? 299 rupees per month per person is the charge. 299 rupees per month per charge is a charge. Very simple. If we are not going to spend so much, and ultimately if you want to bill it to your client, kindly increase your fees. That way हमारी increase fees भी बढ़ जाएगी. तो वो अगर हम लोग add कर देंगे client के ऊपर भी, this entire thing is available on cloud. You are sitting at home. 5 years, 7 years, 10 years of data is available on the cloud. Just go and open. The beauty about this is, if anyone, you can give restriction of accessing, editing, copying. Just imagine if I give an access to Ritesh for downloading that particular thing. The moment Ritesh goes and accesses that file, I get to know, okay, Ritesh has accessed this file at this particular point in time. When he downloaded certain thing, I also get to know that he downloaded at this particular point in time. If he is given a print from there, I can also track whether the print is given by him. What is the cost? Nothing. Just imagine, in totality, if I spend a lakh of rupees, I am totally in control of my data. And today, confidentiality of data is very critical. Just imagine if your data server has been hacked. हमारे पास तो सबसे बड़ी तकलीफ ये है कि क्लाइंट के मतलब मैरिज कार्ड्स के कॉपी भी हमारे सिस्टम पे रहते हैं, उसका विल का कॉपी भी हमारे सिस्टम पे रहता है, उसका बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट भी हमारे सिस्टम पे होता है, उसका इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न भी हमारे सिस्टम पे होता है, उसका पैन कार्ड भी अपने पास ही है, जीएसटी भी उसका अपने पास ही है, सब कुछ. Just imagine if the data has been hacked. And today cyber security is becoming very critical. We are talking about technology. It has risk. Please understand, it is not simple. By connecting one computer to net, it doesn't mean that you are safe and comfortable. So that is also going to be one more important factor. Then communicate, the mailing concept. If you use and adopt digital competency maturity model, you will understand the importance of having your own mail IDs. Like example, Ramdev sir ka naam le raha hu main with all due respect, but I am just taking an example. Ramdev at ramdevbhutra.com. Just imagine if that has been received by your client, he has a different kind of feel good factor. And that entire mailing concept is going to be secured in your server itself. Tomorrow, if an article leaves, a staff leaves, that entire communication मेरे पास मेरे system पे रहेगा. I need not bother about it. So this is where we need to understand the communication style and the culture in which mailing system work and the client interaction happen. And today client, वो तो यही बोलेगा, मैं तो आ गया था, मैं तो दे दिया था, मैं तो बोल दिया था. अरे भाई, दे दिया था, बोल दिया था, कर दिया था, किससे करा ये तो बोल दे. अरे वो बच्चा है ना, थोड़ा लंबा सा रहता, उसको मैं दे दिया था. अरे मैं रामदेव जी आपका नाम जानता हूँ, आपके बच्चे का थोड़ी नाम जानता हूँ. This is the kind of communication today people are just trying to play around with. And today I am telling you one thing which is very important. Client disputes have created problem for our own chartered accountants. दो भाई जब तक अच्छे थे, दो पार्टनर जब तक अच्छे थे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं था. बट एक जब लड़ाई उनमें हुई, तो the matter has gone to our disciplinary in the institute. Now let us talk about the accessibility which I have touched upon, and the most important part is time and cost effectiveness. If you are able to do work from home, the most important point is cut down on travel time. Cut down on travel time means, just imagine आपके घर से रामदेव सर का तो बहुत easy है घर, जहाँ बाजू ही है. But मेरे लिए, if I am sitting in office and I am able to complete my client interaction and meeting, I am actually cutting down huge amount of time. Today we are realizing that actually it is a real time-saving mechanism. I need not go to anyone. I am today sitting at home or might be sitting at office and doing a job. Today from Hyderabad to high-tech city, it takes 1.5 hours. For what? कितनी देर के लिए meeting के लिए? आधी घंटे के meeting के लिए. Just imagine your assessment proceedings which are going to be there are going to be faceless. That means you are going to stand in the queue of the assessment proceeding, and you sit in your office, system is on, whenever your name is called, just be present there. बाकी सब बैठ के काम करते रहिए आपका. How much time you are going to say? How much are we getting paid for this time wasted? Is also something which we need to really evaluate, and it is high time that re-evaluating our own capabilities, efficiency, effectiveness, and the value of business which we are putting on the table. If हमारा time बेकारी में जा रहा था, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट जाने आने के लिए कोई क्लाइंट पेट्रोल का पैसा भी नहीं देता है हमारे पास. It is a reality. Okay, that is all again a different discussion. Change, the most important part. Change client approach is the most critical part. You adopting technology is not the answer. Your client adopting the technology is the answer, and that is something is the biggest challenge for all of us. And it is a beautiful professional opportunity. अगर रामदेव सर बोलेंगे उनके क्लाइंट के लिए भाई तू ये कर, और मेरे से तो होता नहीं, आप आके कर दो, अगर रामदेव जी जाके बैठ के करा देंगे तो उसके पैसा 1 रुपया भी नहीं देंगे. उसके बदले रामदेव जी बोले दयानिवास है भाई हमारा टेक्नोलॉजी का एक्सपर्ट, उसको काम दे दो, 50-60 हजार रुपए में पूरा काम करके दे देगा. जस्ट इमेजिन द काइंड ऑफ क्रॉस सेलिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी वी आर डूइंग फॉर आवर प्रोफेशनल्स. जस्ट इमेजिन फॉर अ मोमेंट, क्लाइंट के पास शादी के अंदर करोड़ों रुपया खर्चा करने के लिए है, बट अगर हम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट के लिए जाकर हम इफ वी आस्क अ सिंगल एडिशनल अमाउंट, दे आर नॉट विलिंग टू डू इट. सो द टाइम हैज कम, वी नीड टू चेंज द क्लाइंट, नॉट वी अलोन. If it is going to be completely imbalanced, या ऐसा मतलब हिल जाएगा पूरा का पूरा अपना, आप टेक्नोलॉजी में एकदम आगे रहेंगे, क्लाइंट कहीं पीछे रहेगा. तो पॉइंट इज, दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच वी नीड टू रियली लुक इनटू. These are the different kind of tools which are used. I am using couple of them. Sometime agar whenever you feel like how my office is working, you want to see, I'll be more than happy to come and show you here. Today we are working in London, we are working in Dubai, we are working in Singapore, we are working in Ireland, all countries we are working, sitting in Hyderabad. I am not joking. You can visit to my office. I am more than happy to share, because I have seen all my seniors sharing their experiences all throughout, and I'm not different from them. I'm lucky to be trained under all these people, whether it is Ramdev sir, whether it is Swiss Jain sir, whether it is my father. There are many such other people who are there in today's forum, Kabra ji and all. So these are different kind of tools which are available, so which can be used effectively by all you people. And today that doesn't cost anything. Like Zoho, entire mailing, click, instant messaging, video conferencing, meeting, everything. What is the cost? Partner cost is 299 or 399 rupees if I'm not wrong. And for an article, it is 99 rupees. That's all per month. 1200 rupiya a month, saal ka. That's all. So I'll share with you this presentation. You can circulate among all the people. I don't have any problem. Be happy. And anywhere you find it difficult to, understand or implement certain things, you want any guidance, without hesitation, reach out. I am always available for all you people. So friends, I am really thankful to you, and particularly Ramdev sir, thank you very much. I think I tried my level best to justify in the shortest time what I can. And अगर इससे ज्यादा expectation था तो मेरे पास time का limitation था. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I can discuss on this entirely at a long length of 3 hours also. And really we can go point by point. And if we are able to, sir, the biggest advantage of our profession is we are class apart. First number. Number two is if we are just changing our way of doing it, we'll be on a total different tangent. Number three, we are the only species. We are the only species in this world on earth who adopt for any kind of change, and which we have been doing from last 70 years. We have read the laws, we have made people understand the law, they earn the business, and we were the experts in this. 70 years is not a small time. I am feeling proud, I am privileged that I am a chartered accountant, and after going to the council with all you people's blessing, trust me, I can only tell you one thing. I humbly thank you all for giving me that kind of opportunity to be there and learn so many things and implement lot of things at that level, and we could do it. Manu bhai has been a biggest support for me, though he talked about lot of things about me, but having a mentor, a friend, a brother, and a guide like him, who himself is a technology guy, is unimaginable. Today you can't even imagine the work which I do on my personal note. The entire SAP clients are being converted into one single sheet, and he gives me within 2 hours. You can't even think about it. So use of technology, knowing the right thing. I have believed in one concept with which I'll conclude. Either you know or you know who know. That's the only logic which I can tell you. Either you know or you know who know. So the point is very simple. If we have to grow in today's world, today alone we cannot do it. Today we have to come into collaboration. Today we have to use expert knowledge. Today we have to encourage if you are able to see some young chartered accountants around you who don't have work on their hand, but they can be good technology support, give them that extended work. If what is BPO, KPO, it is basically the same thing. Why not we think about the same concept and culture that our work, my client will not go anywhere, but the way I am doing qualitatively, if my time is going to be saved and money is going to be same, out of that, if you are able to share something, I think that is the best way of growing together. And let us make these things happen. And Ramdev uncle, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to come and talk in the tax bar. And I hope I could make myself, I could justify my presence. That's the only thing. And Ritesh, thank you very much, dear. Always you have been there. Always you will be there, I know. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, for nice.
Thank you, Dayaniwas. It was seeing your backdrop, wherein you have put in binary language 1 and 0, the language which a computer understands. That is what I read while doing SADP in CA.
Correct, sir.
So it is the change of technology which has brought you to have a picture like 1 and 0. Otherwise, people will say, what is the meaning or fun of it? Similarly, as you explained, there is a lot of difference between efficiency and effectiveness. Really. And other thing which you have shared was really absorbing to me, at least I can say that there are many tools, but the tools which suits you most should be chosen. And the last thing I could understand from your presentation that there should be a skilled person. If you are not skilled, at least there should be some skilled person with you. वो बोलते ना हिंदी में, if a skilled person is with you, you can also become slowly skilled to certain extent. Like खरबूजे को देख के खरबूजा रंग बदलता. So it is like that only. Unless and until you have some guidance, you can't do anything. With these few words, because time is very short, Manu sir, you are online. Manu sir.
Yes, yes, I am online.
सर वो मैंने आपको बताया तो हमने सिर्फ अभी आपका स्नैक्स वगैरह ही खाया है, तो भोजन आप कब कराएंगे वो टाइम हमको दे दीजिए.
वो सर आप दया भाई से वो कर लेना, वो करा देंगे, वो फिक्स करा देंगे.
जरूर थोड़ा हमारे लिए करना, क्योंकि the thing is that the information and technique which we need to know is really large. In this short period, we are not going to leave you like this.
Okay.
Your experience, your expertise is really very much helpful for us, I think, in future also. So, on behalf of Tax Bar, I extend my heartfelt thanks to both of you. And for formal Thanksgiving, I request our Secretary Ritesh Mittal to present vote of thanks.
Yes, sir.
Over to Ritesh.
Yes, sir. Before I propose the vote of thanks, I would like to say what our office has done in the last 2 months. See, what we have done is, like, instead of using the Microsoft remote desktop, which is actually, we have to take a static IP and there was a risk of viruses. So we have used this simple tool called as remote-desktop.google.com. So basically what this software, or it's a straightaway Google link, what it does is, to use it, we need to use, it's like, what we use like AMI and TeamViewer. But for that, we should have the similar same Gmail ID or any Gmail ID, and that all the office systems can be viewed, and you can access any system of your office through a simple tool. So it's like remote-desktop.google.com. So first thing is all of them have to be through the same Gmail ID. That protects the system. And with that, so if I want to access my staff system, immediately I just go there, see his name, click there, and immediately the next moment I'm there in his system without even asking the access. And at the same time, we have installed the same software in the server, wherein all the staff get access to the server, they copy the files to the OneDrive. So our OneDrive is just 1 or 2 GB, not beyond that. So wherever, once the work is done, they put back the files on the server. So here, this is the software which we are using, very comfortably. It's working for the last 2 months. And yes, sir. So it is my indeed pleasure to propose this formal vote of thanks we, on behalf of Telangana Andhra Pradesh Tax Bar Association, thank our Central Council members of ICAI, CA Manu Agarwal and CA Dayaniwas Sharma,